Now, it is part 2 of the test. We look at the questions from number 6 to number 10. Number 6, change init parameters. This is a simple question. Error rate 20%. There's still several. So here, 4 students missed this question. Yeah. So first, let's look at the annotation. The option B. If you want to change init parameters in annotation, then you have to modify your Java source code. After you modify Java source code, then you need to recompile it. Okay? We know in order to process an annotation, a special Java class is used to handle that particular annotation. All right. So you need to rely on special processors. Yeah, because processing annotation, so special type of processors to work on your Java code. All right. So that means you have to recompile your Java servlets. So that's not what we want to have in this question. So the option A is the answer. Okay, so we don't want to recompile our Java classes. This one, idempotent. I remember in the review session, I spent a lot of time explained a similar question. So here I just use different words to write the same question. Yeah. Error rate 56%. More than 1/2 of the students missed this one. The answer false. So let me explain it. The main keyword here is guaranteed. It is guaranteed. Okay? Yeah. If no such word, then it is correct. But if we say guaranteed, then it's not correct. So let's see why. There are 2 cases. The first one is the read-only case. If we have an idempotent method, if we implement it in a read-only way, okay, so that means we do not write any data, we just read data. But there is another way we can also write data. Even it is idempotent, we are allowed to write new data. It's possible. Okay, so in our notes we have such item talking about that. Okay. So for the first case, obviously no side effect. Okay. But for the second case, there is side effect. Okay, yeah. So the idempotent here means the method has the capability to, so we implement it without any side effect. It has the capability, but it does not mean you cannot do things with side effect. Yeah. Actually, the second case, there is side effect. Okay. So for the second case, you do not use the capability without side effect. Yeah. So then you may have side effect. Okay, so due to the second case, in our original question, it is guaranteed that that sentence is wrong. Okay? It is not guaranteed because the second case would cause side effect. Okay. Number 8, create a session object. This question pretty easy. We discussed in class. Error rate 8%. Only 2 students missed this one. Yeah. I just explain quickly. Answer false. Why? 2 cases. The first case, if the session object already exists. Okay. Yeah. So you already create that session object associated with a client. Okay. In this case, when you call get session parenthesis false, it will return that session object. So it is not null. But the second case, if the session does not exist, then this method would return null. Okay? Yeah. Due to the second case, so the answer is false. Question number 9. Separation of web apps. I remember I spent a lot of time in class explaining this concept. This is a Java EE requirement, separation of the resources for different web applications. 52%, a little more than 1/2 of the students missed this one. Answer is B. Let me use a diagram to explain it. Suppose we have 2 web applications in the same server. Right? And based on the Java EE, they should be separated. So what's the meaning? They should be separated. So mainly related to if you want to access a resource in one web application from another one, then there is a restriction. So let's look at the detail. Here, suppose we want to access a resource in web application 2 from web application 1. There are 2 possibilities. The first one, we can do it through URL. This is the external way, because when we access an external resource, external means outside the current web server, external resource, we can use URL, right? But here we access a resource from different web application in the same server, definitely we can use the external URL way. Okay? So, but there is an internal way, possibility, internal way. That's through logical path. Okay? Internal logical path. Okay, yeah. And the first way, no problem. But the second way, based on the Java EE specification, there is a problem. Okay, so here let's see. In the original question, we need to use the forward way to access a resource and make sure the 2 resources from 2 different web applications stay in the same request scope. Okay, yeah. So definitely through the URL we cannot do it. Yeah, because it's an external way, so we cannot do it through the URL. So how about through logical pathway? Yeah. Because here the resources belong to 2 different web applications, and the Java EE specification requires separation of those resources. So you are not allowed to access a resource in a different web application in the same server through the internal logical path. Okay, so for that reason, the answer is B. Number 10, redirect a URL. So this question actually is pretty simple, and I emphasize it several times in the class. The error rate 20%. That means 4 students missed this question. Yeah. So it's pretty simple. Yeah. Answer response. So here let's compare 2 different ways using request and a response. The request way, we can create a request dispatcher object, and through which we can forward. But for the response, we can do redirect. Okay, so more specifically, we call this method response.sendRedirect. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty simple and straightforward. Right. All right. So we complete part 2.